Have you ever seen one photo or one public moment change the way people talk about a star for years? That is exactly what makes Carolyn Jones such an interesting name to talk about. And trust me, you will want to watch this video till the very end, because this story is not only about one outfit or one surprising moment. It is about image, grace, pressure, and how quickly the public can turn one small moment into a huge talking point. Carolyn Jones had a look people remembered right away. She had beauty, mystery, confidence, and a screen presence that made people stop and pay attention. But sometimes, with fame, even the smallest fashion moment can grow into something much bigger than it was meant to be. Carolyn Jones was not the kind of person people easily forgot. She had a very striking face, a calm but powerful look, and the kind of style that made her stand out without needing to be loud. Some stars win people over with sweetness, some do it with glamour. Carolyn had something different. She had an edge. There was something about her that felt elegant, but also a little mysterious. That is why people stayed interested in her. She could walk into a scene, wear a simple outfit, and still become the person everyone remembered after it was over. That is also why any moment tied to her appearance quickly became big news. When a star has that kind of attention around them, every detail gets watched. Every dress, every pose, every public photo, every small fashion choice gets picked apart by people who want to talk, guess, and react. That is one of the hardest parts of being famous. A normal person can have a small wardrobe issue and move on with their day. But a public figure does not always get that same piece. One moment gets frozen in a photo, passed around, and turned into a bigger story than it ever should have been. What makes Carolyn Jones interesting in this kind of story is that she always seemed to carry herself with real control. Even when attention around her became intense, she still had a way of looking composed. That matters, because sometimes the public focuses so much on the outfit or the photo that they forget there is a real person in the middle of it all. They forget there is pressure. They forget there are cameras, opinions, and headlines waiting for any little thing to become a topic. Carolyn's image had glamour, yes, but it also had strength, and maybe that is why people still talk about her. She had the kind of presence that could survive the noise. The truth is, moments like this often say more about the audience than the person in the picture. People are drawn to surprise. They are drawn to moments that seem unplanned. They like the feeling of seeing something they think they were not supposed to see. That curiosity is what keeps old celebrity stories alive. But when you look a little deeper, the real story is often not about shock at all. It is about how quickly people build a full story around one image. It is about how one moment can shape public memory, even when it does not show the full truth. Carolyn Jones lived in a world where image meant everything. In that kind of world, appearance was not a small detail. It was part of the job. The way a star dressed, smiled, posed, or carried themselves could affect how they were seen by the public. That may sound unfair, but it was very real. So when people talk about a wardrobe moment connected to Carolyn, it is worth remembering that this was never just about clothes. It was also about fame, pressure, and the endless need for stars to look perfect every second. And that is almost impossible for anyone. So in the end, this story is not really about one photo, one outfit, or one public moment. It is about how fame works. It is about how quickly people react when a star's polished image meets an unexpected moment. And most of all, it is about Carolyn Jones herself, a woman whose beauty, style, and quiet strength made people keep watching, no matter what the headlines said. That is why her name still gets attention. That is why stories around her still bring curiosity. And that is why one moment can never define someone whose presence was already so much bigger than the talk around it.